Hi, I'm Andy, and you're listening to Altogether Better by Suma, where we'll be speaking to industry experts on ethics, supply chains, sustainability, and to our amazing brands about their origins, values, and why you should get them on your shelves and in your baskets. So without further delay, let's get on with the show. So hi, I'm Andy from Suma, and this is the second one of our podcasts, and I'm really delighted today to bring you Laura from Seep. So over to you, Laura.
Hi, well, I'm absolutely delighted to be here, Andy. So thank you very much for including Seep. So for those of you who don't know, Seep's a B Corp certified cleaning essentials brand that has a range of plastic-free sponges, cloths, washing up gloves. So basically, they're all the tools you use with cleaning.
Really excited to have you here. And so tell me about your origin story. How did it start for you?
So I'm probably a slightly unusual origin story in that I spent the first 20 years of my career working for really big brands and organizations. So as a consultant and then in-house. And so not necessarily products that were good for the people and planet. My last role was at Selfridges. And then towards the end of that time, I went through breast cancer. I was diagnosed and was treated for breast cancer in my late 30s, 2 young kids. And I've always described kind of Seep as my silver lining because I think I just would never have left that corporate world. But when I was going through that, I was kind of eliminating toxins from my home, finding products that were better for people and planet. I could find those kind of products in lots of different categories. But when it came to cleaning, I could find great sprays and washing powders. But actually, when it came to the kind of tools you use with them, the ones I saw in the mainstream certainly were all very, very plastic based and quite old fashioned, wrapped in plastic. And actually really ugly, so there's, that iconic, I always have one of these as a prop when I do these kind of green and yellow sponge scourers, they release lots of microplastics. So I couldn't understand why there wasn't a better alternative out there. And so that's why I launched Seep, end of 2020, early 2021. And now we have, a sort of fairly comprehensive range and haven't looked back really. So never thought I'd be a founder. But really glad I am.
Yeah, it's so exciting when you make that move. So tell me and tell the viewers what is wrong with that sponge that you use as a prop. Tell us about the issues fifth.
What isn't wrong with it other than it's unbelievably cheap? But like these, I went on this amazing trip last autumn and in Malawi and hiked up this mountain, and in this tiny little hut at the top of the mountain was one of these, and so they're that universal, but they, so the top, they're made of virgin plastic. The bottom's polyurethane, the top is a sort of version of polypropylene. You've probably all seen, like, when you use it a little bit, you've got all these bobbles on the top that fall. And so that is literally the kind of breaking down of the fibers and the microplastics going out into the water, into your sink, into whatever you're using. And at end of life, you can't do anything with it other than, chuck it in the waste, your general waste, which ends up being incinerated or into landfill. And so, and it's ugly and it doesn't even work that well. And so, we had to create something this is our bestseller. It's I think it's the bestseller in Suma as well, which is our alternative. And so it's made from renewable materials. It doesn't break down. It doesn't release any microplastic. And it works. And I think a lot of eco products sometimes have a reputation for not working very well. And so, that is what we've aimed to do when we've launched our range.
I mean, yeah, surely that's the aim of one day someone I've got one as well because I had to have one. Someone climbs up a mountain and sees one of these at the top and not one of them ugly sponges full of horrible plastics. So tell me a bit more about the products. What are Seep products, especially this, made from?
So this is our bestseller, and it's made from, so the top bit. I don't know if you can see. I was sort of demoing it here. The top bit is a piece of loofah, and because we needed something that was quite scrubby but also natural and renewable. And so loofah, lots of people think loofah is a sea sponge, but it's not. It's a vegetable. It's a bit like a giant cucumber that
Hmm.
grows on a vine. It's been used for centuries as a scrubber for your skin and for dishes. So that's what that is. And it's a piece of loofah. Then the bottom bit is cellulose wood pulp. And so we use sustainable sources for that. And then the two are then stitched together, not glued because that affects the compostability. And they're stitched together with cotton twice. And then that is basically what creates that little product. And then typically people can use this for 1 to 2 months. And then at the end of life, you can cut it up and put it into your home compost or into your food waste bin. So we called it Seep because we want everything to be circular and to be able to go back into the earth. And so that was kind of some of the thinking we put into it. And then the rest of the range is kind of sponge cloths, which are kind of, we have beautiful designs on them,
Hmm.
and we have some washing up gloves and more traditional. They're cloths, so they're our version of the microfiber cloth, which again, microfiber because they're made of microplastics, so these very thin filaments. But ours are made from we're moving to lyocell, which is sustainably made viscose. So every product's made to last, made to be reusable, and then circular end of life.
That's brilliant. So I've got one of these at home, and the reason I use these is I think there's slightly a misconception about eco-friendly products that they're not as good, not as usable. But I find that using this compared to one of these sponges is great. It actually really does get everything off the plates and the other side to just give it a clean afterwards. I use this so often.
Oh, that's so good
And
to hear.
how do you find the feedback from people? Do you find that people find that this is as good as those green, horrible,
Yeah.
nasty sponges?
Yeah. So one of the things that I think you probably got our last sort of packaging there, and this is our new one, and this is something I'm super proud of. This is our Good Housekeeping Institute. It's a bit blurry here, but for me that means a lot. It means that it is standing up to wear and tear, to good use. They don't give those things away lightly. And
Hmm.
we survey so we have quite a big online business, which I love because it means that we can get real feedback from customers. Early feedback was pretty brutal. So like this version is like version 7 or 8. We've kind of constantly updated it over the years so that it lasts longer. And
Hmm.
typically people say it lasts somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks. And then what you can do is put them in the washing machine as well to just freshen them up a little bit when they start looking tatty.
I mean, this one actually I brought because at the time I bought 3 or 4 at one time, and I'm like, I have to bring one for the podcast. So actually, that's mine. I brought that in myself.
Oh, that's
So
your personal
yeah,
one.
I have
That's
had it. I've had it for a little while now. So I think it's time that I change the one I've got at home. So
Oh, it's brilliant. But like feedback has been crucial, and actually feedback from independents as well. So
mm,
a lot of your customer base, like really understanding how do we make sure that people understand what it is because it's quite a new product. People aren't used to seeing it on shelf. So we've from end users as well as retail, we've learned a lot along the way.
mm. So you mentioned the Seep B Corp. So how did you find that process, and what does it mean to you? What does it mean to Seep to be a B Corp?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it's so important. So, I remember the day I opened the bank account for Seep was the day I went onto the B Corp site and applied for like this. Had something called B Corp pending at the time, and so my thing is, I just genuinely believe that business is a force for good, and it should
Mhm.
be. And the B Corp just has the most comprehensive set of guidelines about how you should be a force for good across not just environmental things but social, how you run your business. And so it was just crucial. So we applied for it very early on. It's a pretty comprehensive process. So we've just got recertified again last year. When you're a small team as we are, it's quite a burden. But like I feel like in a sea of greenwashing and everything else. It's the logo that I feel like is the best that's out there at the
Hmm.
moment. That doesn't mean it's perfect, but they've just updated all their guidelines, and I think actually the thinking and work that's gone up to that. I don't know how much you know about how much all the new guidelines, but like it's such a robust piece of work, and so I'm just thrilled to be part of the community. And yeah. I think there's been quite a lot. There's been a little bit of negativity in recent years around B Corp, and I think let's make what we've already got stronger, not tear it down. So I'm a very proud B Corp member.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that when you put together the eco credentials, the award wins, and the fact that you're a B Corp, I think for me, what would you say to a consumer who isn't sure whether the small swaps, the small everyday swaps matter in the bigger picture?
Yeah, it's a really I loved this question. And all I'd say is that like every little bit helps, and a world that can feel quite bleak and hopeless. You can take control of what you personally can do in the world and the decisions you make. And I think even if you're not driven by the things that are out there in the world and pollution and that sort of thing that can sometimes feel quite distant, what you can control though is the environment in your own home. And so I think, I started Seep because I wanted to get rid of some of the toxins in my home after my diagnosis. And I think it's not just the right thing to do for some theoretical issue, it's the right thing to do for your family. There's some studies, there's more and more studies out there around microplastics. There's 60,000 people that, the latest view is you breathe in 60,000 of these microplastics every day. And so I think that should be a reason why you do this, even if you're not driven by what's happening in the wider world.
Just looking at the cleaning category as a whole over the next few years, how do you see it going? How do you see people moving away from those single use and heavily plastic formulated products to different eco cleaning products?
Yeah. So I think so. The cleaning category, I hesitated to set up a business that was selling sponges and cloths. I was like, oh my God, it's so boring. Like everyone's going to think I'm setting up the most fringe, niche, boring category on the planet. And now I just love it. I love it because actually nearly everybody does the washing up every day. They touch these things every day. So actually our ability to make a difference in cleaning and make this a category that's a bit more fun. If you just think about how you gather around that sink every day as a family, that's when you have the chats, the downloads. I, as a busy mum, at the end of the day, and I wipe down my surface, that's my moment. That's my cue that I'm about to relax at the end of a long day. And so what we want to do to the category is to make it feel like it's, brilliant product that works, that brings you a little bit of joy, even if you don't like cleaning. And a lot of our online content, social media content is about that. And that then just happens to be good for the planet and your health. So I want to give this category a bit of buzz. So a great stat actually for some of your customers is if you look at the overall household category, somewhere between 5 and 10% of that category is eco or sustainable. For cleaning essentials, which is my category, it's less than 0%. It's like 0.1%, right? So not less than, but minute. So that is the growth that we see. So if people are already buying some Ecovert and some, recycled toilet roll, and this is a great way of adding another thing into their basket and making a difference.
I mean, yeah, I do the same, and it was Seep that actually made me switch from the cheaper brands that you just find in large retailers, and now we've got spring cleaning on its way, and you can see dust on tables, especially with a sunny day like today. This one is also mine. This is probably all old packaging as well. So
Yes.
this is another one of mine. I've got another one at home, and I get the Eco Leaf multi-purpose spray, and I spray it, and then
Nice.
I use my green cloth all the time.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
That is
Yeah.
my go-to cloth.
Oh, that's so good to hear. And sort of what windows surface it? Do you what use it wet or dry?
I use it wet, so I spray the surfaces and then wipe the surfaces down, and I
Nice.
find it does a great job. Where especially cleaning around the house, get everything done, and then wash it afterwards.
Yep. Yeah, it
It's lasted a
washes very
long
well.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really, really good to hear. And it's good to hear that you're doing your fair share of the cleaning at home as well.
Yeah,
So that's great.
trying. I get told off if I don't. So what is next for Seep? What's exciting and on the agenda?
Oh, I mean, I just think we're just touching the surface of what we can do. It's really hard when you're a small brand starting from nothing with not much funding and a very tiny team. And it feels like, so we did Dragon's Den
Hmm.
early last year, and Deborah Meaden is now one of our investors. And so last year was just a whirlwind. We had that Dragon's Den episode. We then won Channel 4 and B Corp funding to do our first ever TV ad. And now it's just people are starting to see what we have felt has been an exciting thing for ages. And so this year you're going to be seeing a lot more content from us, and probably less, still some sustainability content, but just also more hacks, more sort of capturing those moments in the home when people are doing the cleaning, the kind of ups, highs and lows. We've got some new products in the pipeline as well. So we do these limited edition
Hmm.
prints on some of our core range. And so again, trying to inject some fun into it all. And then, hopefully good growth and giving people just getting, especially this product, into more baskets and into more homes so that they make the switch.
And how can consumers follow you? How can they keep track of the changes and the new products that's coming out?
Yeah, the best way is for us. Instagram is where we put a lot of our effort. We have an amazing lady who runs our Instagram account who has me sort of running around. Last thing, I was walking down Regent Street dressed as Miranda from Devil Wears Prada, and so it's that is definitely where to find the best information. Also about how our website, we're very transparent about what we do, and we produce an impact report. So if you want more information about the products, that's where you should, your customers should let the end customers know where to find more information out.
For all the things we do for social media.
I mean, yeah, it's you have to I've just lost the embarrassment. I think that's probably the benefit of being a slightly older founder is I just don't care
You do
anymore
get to a stage.
yeah, I don't care. Yeah, and actually we just can't take ourselves too seriously either. We sell cleaning essentials, and so we've got to put some fun into it.
Well, and next question, the last one, if I can, and probably a difficult question. If you could change one thing about the way that consumers shop or clean at home, what would it be?
I think for me it would be, and this is not necessarily about buying Seep otherwise, although I know that's what I'd love them to be doing, but I think it would be to go back to some of the old wisdoms that our grandmothers and great grandmothers had about the amazing powers of things like bicarb soda
Hmm.
and lemon, and like we don't need all this super scented latest max power stuff. And actually, in fact, we shouldn't have it in our homes. Some of those old recipes, I love I don't know if you know Nancy Birtwhistle, but
Hmm.
she's done amazing, that if you don't follow her already, but she has these recipes for natural cleaning products. And so, you know, if you haven't got time, obviously buy it. But actually, I think there's so much wisdom in some of those things. I think that's what I would say is look in your store cupboards.
Yeah, and for me, it's that thing of when you're sitting there scrolling through social media, you wouldn't go looking for how to clean ethically, but when it comes up, you can't help but sit there and watch it. And
Yeah.
there are so many great influencers out there that when they do come up with these brilliant ideas, or even bring back things that even your mothers or your grandmothers used to use.
Yeah, I mean, they're things that we've forgotten to do, and I think it's, and it's not only, it's cheap as well, right? So make yourself a gin and tonic, and then with the lemon, it's a great way you can really buff up and make some of your taps really shiny with it. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, for me personally, I can't wait to get home and get the gin and tonic out, or maybe just the lemon.
Good excuse, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's been fantastic, and thank you for your time today, Laura. It's been really exciting to see all the things that are coming up for Seep.
Oh, pleasure, and thank you to Suma and all of those amazing independent businesses out there that have given us a go and put us on your shelves and introduced us to customers out there.
But yeah, that's our second ever podcast, and hopefully in future we'll be able to get you back on here again to talk about the new products and developments.
Yeah, we'd love that.
Amazing. Thanks a lot, Laura.
Thanks.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Altogether Better podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. It helps more people discover the show, and you'll be the first to know when a new episode lands. You can also find us on social media at Suma Wholefoods, where we share more stories, updates, and behind the scenes from the co-op. Until next time, thanks for listening.